Hello, SDG Action Zone viewers. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Angel Adelaja, and I'm the founder of Direct Nigeria, which is an ag tech company in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm also the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ogun State on Agriculture. And I'm here with you today because I'm also a proud member of the Goalkeepers Advisory Board. Led by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Goalkeepers is dedicated to accelerating progress towards the global goals, using powerful stories, data, and partnerships to highlight progress achieved, hold governments accountable, and bring together a new generation of leaders to address the world's challenges. Goalkeepers also presents annual Global Goal Awards, which recognizes remarkable emerging leaders taking on the world's biggest issues. We're here today to celebrate and talk to this year's just announced leaders who are working harder than ever on good health, well-being, gender equality, and global cooperation. We also are focusing on them because they are responding to COVID-19 and its ripple effects. We have with us Hawa Ojefo, Bonita Sharma, and Ashish Birgi. So welcome to all of you. So Hawa, I will begin with you. Congratulations once again. The Goalkeepers Changemaker Award honors your work on gender equality and mental health in my home country of Nigeria and the progress that you're continuing to make during this unprecedented time. So why did you create your organization, She Writes Women, and where are you focusing in response to COVID-19?
Thank you very much, Angel. I started my organization, She Writes Women, because I needed a safe place and I needed an outlet. But it has grown beyond that. It is now a movement that gives mental health a voice in Nigeria. And what we are doing is normalizing mental health conversations and using new narratives to change the way mental health is looked at in Nigeria. We're empowering people who actually live with mental health conditions to tell your own stories, to co-create their own solutions, and to advocate for their own rights. And essentially, we are creating safe spaces offline and online to facilitate these conversations. With regards to COVID-19, we are responding by creating virtual safe spaces for people through teletherapy, helplines, and telecounseling. We are also providing support groups for the people who are most vulnerable and left behind in cases like pandemics. We're ensuring that victims of gender-based violence are also protected and have safe spaces virtually that they can call from the comfort of their homes, or that they can be taken to safe places outside of their homes as well. We're ensuring that we're also pushing the government in terms of legislation to ensure that legislation is a part of mental health response and part of the broader COVID-19 response in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's so needed during this time, and especially across the world and here in Nigeria, the work that you're doing is timely and much needed. So your story is inspiring, and we look forward to seeing She Writes Women grow. Now, Ashish, you're the co-founder and CEO of MASH Project Foundation, which has been recognized with the Goalkeepers Campaign Award for creating a social impact community in India. Could you tell me a little bit about MASH's COVID Action Initiative? What are its main goals, and what have you really learned about providing support to your community since the pandemic really began?
So my organization, MASH, largely focus on empowering young people to take charge on the issues which matters to them. And we have created a very unique model where we keep supporting them at different stages of their work. We create communities which support them. So these are mentors and leaders who they can always reach out. Then we build capacity. So we do skilling programs when we help them learn new skills which help them to do their work better. And then third and most importantly, amplify their voices. So we create campaigns, we work with media partners to take their voices to the larger audience. So this work has been going on for a very long time, for over 6-7 years now. But when the pandemic hit, right, so then the COVID earlier this year hit, we realized a lot of young people wanted to step up to take charge and do something about the big issues that they were seeing in India. These issues are like, a lot of migrant workers, low-income workers who had no work and they had to travel like for thousands of miles to go back to their homes. Then, people with healthcare there is a lot of income disparity and issues related to sanitation that has come up, right? So we realized that young people want to do, while there are also many people who want to support, right? So there are resource providers who wanted to give small grants, who wanted to provide technical assistance and so forth. But there was too much of information and chaos. So first thing, COVID Action Initiative focus was on streamlining the information. So we created an information discovery platform where you can easily find resources for different issues, which these young change makers can easily tap on. Second is we brought different leaders to talk to these young change makers. So we do bring different leaders for a lot of learning from leaders, dialogues on different issues. So they continuously kind of get a perspective from leaders. And third, again, most important is on skilling. Like I said, a lot of young people have been also facing challenges in terms of not finding jobs, or they're being at home. So mental health problem has come up very big way. So we identified, and then we kind of helping people to learn future skills which help them become more employable, and at the same time create sessions which address the mental health challenge. So these have been some of the big work, and we are continuing to focus a lot on that going ahead.
Thank you so much, Ashish. We look forward to following MASH's journey. Now over to you, Bonita. I'm so excited to speak with you. You're recognized this year with the Goalkeepers Progress Award for your innovative approach to nutritional health for mothers and young children in Nepal through your organization, Sochai, for the social change makers and innovators. How has Sochai's community been affected by COVID-19, and how have you mobilized to respond?
Thank you, Angel. So from the beginning of the nationwide lockdown due to COVID crisis in Nepal, people from the communities that we work in have been facing several challenges. It has especially been difficult for those who depend on daily wages to feed their families, because they have lost their only source of income as the entire economy came to standstill. And this has primarily affected the pregnant lactating women and children, as they are struggling to access enough food and quality diet, which is especially important during the first golden 1,000 days of life. And additionally, these mothers are also no longer able to monitor their children's health and nutrition status because of movement restrictions, as well as due to the fear of contracting the coronavirus from the local health center. To address this serious emergency, Sochai mobilized trained youth volunteers in the front line by collaborating with local government and reaching out to the most vulnerable pregnant lactating mothers and children with immediate nutrition and hygiene supplies. We were also able to assess the nutrition status of children for early detection of malnutrition. And we provided counseling to mothers regarding complementary feeding and breastfeeding using our low-tech innovation, the NutriBeats bracelet. And additionally, we've been doing a lot of online as well as offline counseling on ways to manage COVID during this crisis. And since the COVID started out as a health crisis, but with time it has become a serious socio-economic crisis. So we are also supporting women to set up small agro-based enterprises in the community so that they can have access to both nutrition as well as sustainable income source.
Thank you for working with the most vulnerable populations. I'm completely inspired by your resilience, especially during this COVID-19 period. To wrap up, I have a last question for all of you. Goalkeepers believes progress is possible, but not inevitable. It happens only when we can create it. So as you've persisted in your work on the goals, day after day during this pandemic, what has kept you really going? It keeps you going on a day-to-day basis?
I think my persistence in the work that I do comes with some of the realizations and reflection I've had during this pandemic. The first one was the existence of structural inequality, because while I was staying indoors, working from home with access to food, access to technology, whereas the mother of my age was struggling outside to feed herself and her child. This has reminded me that I have a lot more to do to break this structural inequality and actually leave no one behind in this pandemic. The second realization I've had is I've seen the power of passionate youth, because although the COVID crisis has pushed us back, the progress that we've made by almost 25 years, but I see the enthusiasm and passion in young people by bringing up new technology and ideas through collective effort and solving the existing as well as new challenges that we will be facing. And last but not the least, the thing that motivates me is to see the commitment shown by the organizations such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation itself, because they have committed to acknowledge and amplify the efforts that we're making in the ground. And it truly gives me a lot of confidence and courage to do even better in the coming days.
How about you, Ashish?
I think one of the biggest thing that keeps me going is the power of young people. Being a young person myself and coming from India, which is the most youthful nation with almost 600 million young people. And when you unleash the potential of this youth, you can create wonders. And achieving global goals by 2030 is not a very far-fetched trip, even if a pandemic like this has hit us. So I think that potential and what we can create together collectively is what keeps me going every day.
Amazing, amazing. And how about you, Awa?
Now more than ever in this pandemic, we have not just collective change as we have known it, but ensuring that the people who are most affected by anything are driving the change that we want to see, that they are being included and being involved and championing causes that affect them the most. So nothing about us keeps me up and it keeps me going, because not only am I trying to deploy mental health solutions to Nigerians, or virtual resources, or self-care, or safe places, or counseling, and ensuring that, access is more equal and it's more affordable and it reaches the farthest behind, I am also a beneficiary of that population as well. So it gives me a lot of skin in the game, knowing that, on the one hand, I'm a beneficiary of my own work, but on the other hand, I'm ensuring that, the people who are largely left behind, the people who may not have access to the kind of privilege that I have, or people within my immediate community may have, we're ensuring I'm making room for other people to gain access. We're ensuring that people who do not have access can finally have access to some of the most important mental health solutions.
Wow, I am feeling the energy, the passion, the youthful spirit, and I am inspired, I am motivated, and I'm so happy to see that in the work that each of you are doing, there's this spirit of collaboration, there's this spirit of activism, and this spirit of making sure that because you are part of that community and you have a responsibility to that community, you've decided and taken it upon yourself to achieve the global goals. Thank you so much. Now, I know I have to wrap it up, but I have one last question for all of you. And this is a lighter question, but what does it really feel like to win this award? How does it feel? Let's start with Awa.
Well, I didn't see this coming, first off. I have to say, I didn't see it coming at all. And if anything, it is a huge validation, not just for the work that I do, but for people like me who are largely in this part of the world, whose rights are mostly stripped from them, who are largely excluded, whose voices are not heard, who are looked down on. It is validation that as persons who live with mental health conditions or psychosocial disabilities, that we are seen and we are finally being heard. So this is perhaps one of the biggest validations that I've ever gotten. And it's not only that, but it's obviously a platform to amplify our voices, our stories, and our needs in our community.
Wow, what about you, Bonita?
In this world, like, young people are most of the time considered a mere beneficiaries. So I think the Goalkeeper Awards has upheld the power of youth and fueled our determination to solve the global challenges, such as the problem that I am addressing, the problem of malnutrition. So winning this award will not just give me the motivation to do better, but I believe it will also increase my credibility and increase the recognition of SOCHI and get connected with the network of young people like Hawa and Ashish, so that we can amplify our efforts and make this world a better place.
Absolutely. And last but not least, what about you, Ashish? How do you feel about this award?
I think I feel very honored and very humbled at the same time. Goalkeepers Global Goals Award is truly one of the most prestigious recognition as a young change maker. It's very exciting, and when I shared this news with my organization, and like I said, we are a very youth-led organization, so it's just not me, it's a recognition for the whole work that we do and every community member with whom we do this, right? So I think it's a great validation of the work that we have done, and also gives us a lot of confidence to keep continuing what we do.
Thank you all for sharing your inspirational stories and work with us. And again, congratulations to you all. It's clear from talking with all of you that COVID-19 is a shared global crisis. that demands a shared global response. Like you've modeled through your partnerships, your collaborations, and your community work, we must all come together to resume progress towards the global goals. You embody the spirit of Goalkeepers. It has been an absolute honor talking with each of you today. Thank you so much.